Okay, I press continue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Sylvia, I see, is active already on the pages, so she's in the background and she will be the one sharing and keeping an eye on if someone is posting like a question on any other channels.
Girls, if I look down, where am I looking? Can you tell if my eyes are down or now I'm looking at the camera?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to say, and now can you see now where I'm looking? I'm just looking at my laptop now.
Yeah. Yeah, you see.
Which glance do you want? Do you want me to speak to the camera? Now I'm looking at Meryl, for example. And now I'm looking at Julia.
Yeah, I think, you know, like what I just did, like you'd go look at it, it's just like this nature of talking to, you know.
Okay,
like
so it's more natural, so I can use my hands to and everything, which I did.
Absolutely,
okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
on Monday was
too, but you know, I think we should just be natural to, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you know, obviously you don't talk like this or something.
No, but I can. Okay,
like,
okay.
Yeah, no. That's right. Now it's like on Monday you did perfectly. Just literally, it will be like this. Like it will look in 50 seconds. It will look like this. You know, like we won't be seeing the recording, so we can fully focus on, you know, just our little chat that we're having.
Okay. Right.
And also you can see from my eye movement, like I'm all over the place because
now I'm looking at Meryl. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at me. I'm looking to see if there's a glare behind me because I'm moving. You know, it shifts because of the background. Okay. Okay, so it'll be natural.
Yeah,
Monday was very natural.
I have a second monitor, so I'll be glancing sideways at some point.
Okay, that's fine.
To monitor the Facebook page if there are any questions. But
yeah.
So maybe we can already start streaming. 1 minute. We can do this. Okay, now this will take maybe 1 minute because I need to do some typing of titles and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Sylvia just also shared that she's ready. It's good.
Share on the page. Kumon default.
I'm looking at my hair and it looks so blonde and it's not this blonde. So I'm thinking, why is the light like this? It's not blonde actually. I don't know why it's showing this light.
But you look
really
great.
nice though. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's a little bit too blonde because I'm looking at your hair and my hair is pretty much brown actually, girl. It's not as dark as Meryl's, but it's like yours. And I'm thinking now, why is the light like this? Okay, we can forget about the hair now. We'll go on.
I think that's very girly. Like I was in another meeting and it was just the guys. And then I had this because it was the sun shining and I have like one blonde thing here, but it looked gray. And I started to panic inside and I was like, wait, what? When did that happen?
And they don't even notice these types of things, of course.
No.
And if we say these things, it's just silly.
I know. They're like, you have hair? It's like, yeah, I never noticed. Yeah. I know.
Okay, Kumon Live. Join us as we chat with Ms. Maria Kutrubis, instructor from Greece, about her journey and experiences from England. Okay, so I'm gonna hit go live now. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys start, right? Of course.
Okay, I think we're live. Are we? Yes, we are. So, hello and welcome to this another session of Facebook Live. My name is Meryl. I'm a member of the franchise support team at KUMON, Germany. And with me, Julia, you know her already, our brand and marketing manager, and a very special guest. So today we will be chatting with Miss Maria Kutrubis. So she's a KUMON instructor from Greece. Now, I have here some photos of her center. Just to introduce her and her center better, let me just share my screen. All right. There, I guess you can see her center and some photos of how it looks like. Now, Maria, maybe you can better introduce yourself and your center, right? So
okay.
Find your center exactly, and how long have you been running?
Okay, well, first of all, hi, Meryl. Hi, Julia. It's very nice to be here. My center opened in March 2017, and it's situated in the southern suburbs of Athens, in the area of Varis. It's in March, it'll be 4 years that we've been open. My journey as a Kumon instructor goes a little bit more back. In 2013, I'm a mother of 4 children, and in 2013, I have my 2 youngest then were 8, and I had a son who was very math inclined and a daughter who was not. So I was looking for a program to challenge my son who loved math, and he was quite good at it, and a program to boost my daughter, his twin sister, they're actually twins, and maybe help her. So I heard from a soccer mom one day during practice that she took her son to the Iliopoli Center. Then it was the only center that was open in Greece. So I went for the parent orientation meeting. Then it was Kyria Thanasia and Elias who were doing the meeting. And I was mesmerized, actually. I loved what they said about the individuality of the program, the challenge factor for children who were math advanced, and also the helping factor for children who needed some type of assistance. So I started my young ones in 2013, and they had a journey which was very different. Within a year, of course, they were ACHR1. I think within 18 months, they were advancing well beyond 2 years above their school level. What was fascinating was that their math ability was very different at the diagnostic testing process. And then within a year and a half, my daughter, who I would say was not math inclined, she had reached my son. So that just was, I don't know, that actually, it was very, that impressed me, to be honest. And because you realize that, okay, it's not only about being smart, it's about being persistent, it's about being determined, and also it's about the confidence that Kumon gives you as a method. Now, after my young ones, I'm a mother of 4 children, actually. I also have a special needs son. So my special needs son, his journey with school, he was, then it was 2014, almost 15. He was 15 years old, okay? He was having difficulty with 1 and 1 equals 2. So when I went to the Kumon Center, I asked Kyria Thanasia, and I told her, what can I start George with math? So she said, sure. Now, he was doing fractions within 2 years. A student who, at the age of 8 and 9, they told me that he would not be able to grasp the concept of math at all. So then that's when my love for the Kumon method, that just, I don't know, that was very, it wasn't important to me. It was important to me, not the method, but I think the feelings that it gave my children. Other than the confidence, the ability, it made them more enthusiastic with the whole learning process. It made them interested. They saw that they could learn on their own. So the fact that they could acquire knowledge on their own, I think that was magical. So after that, one day I took the kids to the Kumon Center, and there was a sign on the door that said, franchise meeting, franchise orientation meeting for anyone interested. So we went to the meeting with my sister, actually. And then it was, I think it was the second meeting that was held in Athens. That was in 2016. And it was Mr. Shimizu was the one that opened the meeting, and he's the one that introduced the method to us. And just hearing him talk, I was already a believer. I loved it. I had seen the results. I wish that I had a way to share it with more people. I had shared it with a lot of my friends, and they too had started their children. But the way that it had touched me and had given my oldest son the confidence that he can actually learn in a different way and at his own pace, that was very important to me. So during the meeting, that I think we were looking at a case study of a child with Mr. Shimizu. And then, I don't know, I felt, I got a bit emotional. It was just seeing it and feeling it. And that just coincided. And then I knew that was the moment I knew that I wanted to be an instructor. So it's just, I think what Kumon is to me is the fact that It's a tool which helps children just acquire advanced knowledge at their own pace. The fact that it's individualized, and also the fact that you can discover a child's potential, something that the child does not know that it has. And then you can help them come to believe it and gain confidence. And also maybe the parent doesn't know that their child has that ability. I think that's very important for the child's journey.
Actually, Maria, you were talking also about your experience as a Kumon parent, right? And a number of our Kumon instructors actually started off as a Kumon parent like yourself. But if I may ask you, what are the advantages of actually starting off as a parent who has their children enrolled in a Kumon center and then, you know, eventually becoming an instructor? So what are the advantages that you got from that experience?
Okay, I think the biggest advantage is that you have knowledge of the daily work. You have knowledge how Kumon, other than the results, because you've seen the results, so you already believe, you know that the Kumon method works. So other than that, you know what is needed on a daily basis, which means that you know how to assist parents when you become an instructor, how to encourage not only with the grading and the monitoring of the students, because there's not supposed to be any monitoring. The students should be pretty much on their own. They should be independent. That's one of our goals. But as a parent, you get to feel as a parent first and then an instructor. I apologize, girls. That was an incoming call. As a parent, you get acquainted with the method. It's as simple as that. You get acquainted with the method, and then when you're an instructor, it's a lot easier to connect with parents and tell them your experience, because I think it's very important when you tell them that, oh, I was an instructor, I was a parent also, and they're like, really, you understand the challenges that the parents face, and you can assist them better. You can assist them better, the truth is.
Yeah, I think that describes it beautifully, like that, you know, and I think that's also what makes instructor special, is that it's so dedicated to each and every, you know, individual child. And I think it's even more powerful to hear your story, to know, you know, like children get told in school, or like, you know, parents get told in school that, you know, there will always be difficulties in numbers. And I think like experiencing with your own son is just the most emotional. Like I get goosebumps every time I hear your story about it, because I love it so much, because it's just like, it just shows that it's way beyond of just, you know, catching up with school level or something, that Kumon can just do so much more also for the self-esteem and
confidence. For the confidence, there's a quote by Albert Einstein which I always love, and I think it's one of the reasons why I love being an instructor so much. It says that everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will go through its whole life believing that it is stupid. Okay. Yeah. Kumon makes everyone feel capable. It's as simple as that. Everyone can advance. Everyone can feel the sense of accomplishment at their own pace, which is okay, because we're not all the same. But I think that's just magical in the way that you can inspire children to feel that. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's not only being an instructor. It's not about you can guide the child. The child feels enthusiastic, he feels energized, he feels motivated, and you can do all that without teaching. It's just by looking at the child, smiling, just by showing him something, not showing him how to do it, just helping him feel capable that he can do it. I think that's what Kumon is about. Feeling capable. It's about being able to having the confidence, not from being right all the time, because confidence, it doesn't come from being right all the time, but it comes from not fearing that you might be wrong, because then you'll try again. So that's very important. And the problem solving skills that you gain by Kumon. There's something I tell my students, and I think I've told you girls too, sometimes when they're like, oh, why do I have to study the example? And I tell them, an example, when we go to IKEA and we buy a bookshelf and we open the box and there's the manual inside, and it's like 5 pages of bolts and screws and instructions and all these things which we don't understand. And a Kumon student, their example is like studying the manual. So it's either you'll attempt it, you'll try to solve it, you'll try to put it together, or you won't. But I think Kumon students will be the adults who will try to put it together. Yeah, that's the difference. That's the persistence, the persistence and the determination which Kumon gives you.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, in Kumon, we're always talking about this. It's not just about developing academic abilities, yeah, but also like the qualities that our students or our children will have. But just going back a little on the role of the instructor. So what makes Kumon actually different from other, let's say, um, tutoring services? Because we are saying, right, we are not tutors, we are not actually teaching. So what exactly is the role of the instructor then?
I think the role of the instructor is like the role of a coach. I think when we do the diagnostic, our role is to try to notice as much as we can, to observe our students, to observe their ability from the smallest detail of how they hold their pencil, how they act when you give them a pencil which is not sharpened and the sharpener is right next to it. When you ask them their parents' cell phone number, if they know it. I have students who are 5 years old and they'll say 6974 and they'll tell you the number immediately. And there's students who are 11 and 12 and are like, I don't know my mom's number. There's so many ways that you can discover a child's ability. I think that's the exciting part of the DT. But other than that, there's a big responsibility with that because you feel that once you observe the child and you can see what he's capable of doing, it's a matter of making him believe it. It's not me guiding or me believing. It's not enough. I think the wow moment comes when the child looks at you and he knows that he's capable. He's felt it. He feels confident. And that's a moment which I have felt with my children. So it's something which I can pretty much guarantee to the parents during the diagnostic testing process. And they're like, how are you sure that he'll be able to do that? They just will. They will. But once you guarantee that, then you have that, that stress that, oh my gosh, I told them. So, you have to carry it through. But there, it's the child. And I think the child helps you because why? Because once the child sees in his instructor's eyes that she believes in me, because I think many children say that there's always a teacher in their lives. No, I think many adults say that we all had a teacher who believed in us, even when we didn't. Yeah. So that's very important in the education journey of a child, very, very, in the academic journey of a child. So it's not a matter of making mistakes or not making mistakes. There's no such thing. Mistakes are the best teachers. And at Kumon, children know that with the repetitions. That's why they'll do it once and they'll make mistakes. And the second time, maybe again, the third time, they'll be like, Miss, no mistakes. And it's not that they don't focus on the third repetition or how bored they are with doing it. They focus on the positive that, wow, I did it perfectly. So I think we can all pretty much learn from children. Their reactions is how we should react to life in general. We don't, but we should.
I remembered. Yeah, go ahead, Julia.
Go ahead. No, I just wanted to say, like, I always think it's so remarkable, like listening to instructor, like listening like to your story also that it's so, like for you as an instructor, it's such a tool to observe the child. And I'm wondering, and I think, this is also a question that we get from, candidates and from the question board regularly, is that people are kind of wondering, like, is it something, because, is it something you need in background in education for, as an example, in order to identify this? Is this something you get trained in? Like, how, in order to, because you're working there with, like, little children. So is there anything that, maybe also you can share from your story, how you became an instructor at the very early stage, went through the training process, but, was that something that you also had to discover, or was it like that you were coming from an educational background, or just maybe probably I can also share something here.
Sure. Meryl, would you like to say something, or just?
No, actually, I just want to feedback on what you said earlier about children, because
no, I remember.
I remember us talking the last time about you actually talking one-to-one with a parent without children, so they wouldn't hear what you are talking about. So it just
yes, of course, that's very important. Okay, let me first start. No, I don't have an education background. I'm just a mother of 4, so I have a love of children though, and my almost 200 students, they're like my children. I would do the same thing with my children's record book, the same progress. I would have the same goals for them as I do for my own kids and my students. So I think it's a matter, if you love children and you just want to make them happy and make them want to love acquiring knowledge, It's not education, but the love of learning, I think, is very important. That's all you need to become a Kumon instructor, to be honest. Now, an education background, I'm sure it helps. It makes you more confident maybe with dealing with the parents. But I was very satisfied with the training. I don't have an education background, but during our training, the first 2 weeks, there was so much, you felt so inspired to become an instructor, and you felt so capable that, wow, even without an education degree, I can do this. I can do this, because it's not about teaching. It's about motivating. It's about inspiring. It's about observing. Observation is very important. And it's about setting all your attention on the child. So pretty much, if you can do that, then I think you can become an instructor. Now, the interesting part is when we have the parent meeting with the child, and a lot of times the parents, they come to bring their children, and they have different labels they've given their children, like he's not good at math, or she's a little bit shy, or he's very good at math. That's a difficult one, actually. That's a challenging one once they do the diagnostic test. But so it's very important. You try as an instructor to encourage parents not to label their children. You'll take the student inside the center, so it doesn't have to hear something that maybe leaves an impression, a negative impression on the child, which it's not, of course, the parent's intention to leave a negative impression, but a lot of times we focus on not the negative, but we focus on our children's weakness. From the anxiety we have to improve them, we focus on their weakness. But Kumon, it does that also. It gives you the opportunity to prove to the parent and the child that the child can do it. And I think it's very important when I have even parents that come to say, and they're like, thank you, we thank you so much. We see such a huge difference in Maria or in Irene. And you feel so satisfied. I think that's the most satisfying part. Hearing it from the parent, I think it's mostly satisfying hearing it from the student. Right? When they come and they tell you, Miss, I got 100 on my math test. And that's a student who a year ago would come to the center and they're like, oh, I'm not that good at math, and math is hard. And then they just open the door, they just fling the door open. They're like, Miss, I got 100. And you look at that student and you're like, oh my gosh. And the parent is all outside going, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's the biggest compensation in our line of work.
Yeah. So before we continue, I would just like to encourage everyone who's viewing to post their questions, if ever they have any, in the comment section, and we'll try our best to address them later on. Yeah, speaking about questions, if I may direct this question to Julia, it's one of the most frequently asked questions. If they would like to become an instructor and join such training, as we discussed, what do they need to do, and what kind of support or will they be receiving?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping they're watching the events and they get inspired by all the amazing instructors. No, but you have Meryl here attending today, which is part of the franchise team. So I think she and her team, they would be the very first contact point. We have a lot of information also on our website. We we have amazing instructors like Maria. We had previous events as well. So if you want to get a glimpse on what it can be like to have a journey, you can also have a look in there. And once you have contacted Meryl and her team, you will get forwarded, and we would, have an, as we call it, orientation meeting. We would invite you to an orientation meeting. They have been currently online due to the, overall COVID situation, just to ensure that everyone is safe. So, we invite you online. It normally takes place in training centers in Athens and also in Germany. But also European-wide. And we will invite you there to meet you. So you can also meet us. You can get a glimpse of what it looks like, what our philosophy is. And we can, just get to know each other. As I said, we always call it orientation meeting. It's basically a day of just getting to know each other. You will get to know our amazing trainers. And next step is you will get to meet the marketing if everything is going through and you're still liking it. So you will get to meet me and my amazing team who are with you the entire journey. And basically because, of course, you are about to become an instructor, but also you're about to open up your own business, basically, which is great as such. And you don't have to be afraid to be left alone, because we are there to support you with everything marketing wise. We support you in digital marketing activities if you want to, like how to communicate to a community, how to actually set up any online campaigns. And of course, we also drive national advertising for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But, just to give like as a starting point to make you feel more comfortable, you're not left alone. You will run then for 2 weeks of training, which Maria was talking about, where you will actually visit a real center, where will you be put in the shoes of an instructor yourself. And again, we'll be together with our trainers, but throughout you will meet the marketing team. You will have then more in-depth workshops for Google My Business, for Facebook, for everything social media wise, but also for the offline world. What are the options? How can we support? And and then normally it's within 3 months up to a year, I feel, mainly half a year. That's when you then open up a center. So you will review a venue together with also one of our field managers that you will meet at the very beginning, which I forgot to mention. And and then you will start your journey, your very own journey. And it might seem a lot, but it's also it's important for me to always strengthen you're not left alone. That's always very important for me. And what I encourage and what I embrace and what I appreciate so much is what the community, the instructors are. It's not like when you open up a center, wherever you are. We're opening currently, or we're seeking to open in 22 countries across Europe, which is massive and which is absolutely amazing. But you're definitely not left alone. So even if you are questioning, or if you're wondering, because Maria here is from beautiful Greece, if you're, for example, watching currently from Romania, we also do have centers there. But if you're wondering to open up a center and you're not entirely sure, and then we agreed to open a center there, don't be afraid, because, we will be in constant contact. You will be in a big group and in best hands and best community of our instructors European-wide. And there was a lot of talking now from me. I'm sorry.
I like the last part that you said, to be a part of this community. I mean, you are not just becoming an instructor and opening your own center, but you will be part of the wonderful community of KUMON.
And the wonderful part of all of us, when all the instructors get together and we talk, we have the same enthusiasm when we talk about our students. That's amazing. Any country, when we all get together, it's the same thing. We can always talk about, my student did this, my student did that. And we're all just mesmerized by each other. We don't even know they're students, but we feel like it's one of our students.
Yeah.
That's a similar point we have.
We actually talked with Tomais before in one of our live events, and she also mentioned that you have this one group chat, and everyone
we have a
sending
wonderful chat here
about their students.
We have a fun chat. It's fun, it's informative, it's supportive, it gives us knowledge, it gives us humor. It's just every day. It's like, and if you don't get the messages that come in the morning, by night, they're like 140 messages, which are unread. So you're like you're scrolling down to see what went on today. That's a big help. It's a big help as instructors. It's a big help as friends. Sometimes you might be having a bad day, so you share your day with one of the other instructors, and they're like, "Oh, that happened to me. Don't worry. It'll turn around." It's very encouraging, and you feel that pretty much all of us are sharing the same experiences, and we're there for each other. Now we have a wonderful, great community, I have to admit.
I mean, especially nowadays, it's a challenging time. I mean, how is it there in Greece? It's still in lockdown, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we are still in lockdown. Yes, our centers have been closed since November, so we're just offering Zoom services right now for our students.
How is it with the Zoom online study?
This second time around, the first time it was a bit challenging because it was just setting it up, and it was a new experience for the parents because they were also doing their school from Zoom. So, and the students, of course. But the second time around, we're all a lot more organized. Instructors, the centers, our students, I think we're ready. From September that we started in classroom, we were mentioning to them that if something happens, if you close, we'll go online. We were prepared as instructors here in Greece. The students were too the second time around, and the parents. The experience, the beginning, it was the unknown. Like they just tossed us in the ocean. You're like, so you just start to swim slowly. It's like treading water. But then you were able to see results. I'm not going to say in classroom results, but Zoom had many strengths, which when given the opportunity to see them and not being focused on the fact that we were closed, we don't see our students, everything is on the computer all day, we were able to observe students sometimes even better and a lot more focused than in the classroom. And our students, what I was amazed by, I had a lot of students who were very motivated, self-motivated by working from home, which means that the fact that they were able to become independent on their own and not from coming to the classroom and being not guided on how to become independent, but given some tips on, you know, you should be doing this on your own. They were pretty much goal setting. And this is not big children, maybe children 7 and 8 years old. So just witnessing that was amazing. Like everything, we're waiting now for our students to come back. So maybe now it's going to be a hybrid center. So maybe many parents, I think, are going to request to have maybe one day at the center, one day with Zoom. Some parents might choose Zoom in the beginning and not bring them back to the centers, but we're open and we're ready. So once they give us the okay to open our centers, I think we're ready to support our students.
Brilliant. It's really good. So for any parent out there who is listening, so we are open to accept online classes and maybe soon hybrid as well, as Maria has mentioned. Now, ladies, I'm afraid we do not have more time left. So thank you so much for your time. It was really wonderful hearing from your story, Maria. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah. And for everyone else who's viewing this or who will view this later on, please feel free to comment or to ask any questions you have. And yeah, thank you everyone and have a nice day.
Thank you girls for having me. It was wonderful to be here.
It's been lovely spending the afternoon with the two of you.
Thank you with you also. Bye girls, bye.
Bye.
Okay, I just stopped the live stream. Maria left.
Oh no, Maria left.
Yeah, he thought it would be
she thought that was it.
But that was quite abrupt. Yeah.
I know, like you should have probably told her. Maybe we can get her.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, that's true.